Hello. Welcome to Gray Areas for October 14th, 2025. I'm just making sure we're live. I see that I am talking. I am hearing myself. Great. Episode 694. Dave is here, coming to you remote from Florida. Cody is here while the Dodgers are halfway to advancing to the World Series.
Officially now. Thanks for a complete game.
I am here. I don't have a follow-up for that. I'm just here. Yeah, that's not here.
I'm 2,000 miles away from you guys, and yet I'm here. He's downstairs and not here.
And it is
not here.
It's 11 p.m. where you are.
I'm really burning the midnight oil here, and yet here I am because I'm a professional.
What time do you have to get up for actually doing work tomorrow? Like Florida time?
I don't have to be in the office till 9. It's fine. I'm really not that bad. Like, actually, here's a stupid story, and you're going to make fun of me. I'm okay with this. I was in California last weekend, and I watched the sunset over the Pacific Ocean and got to put my feet in the Pacific Ocean. Now I'm in Florida, so I want to get up early enough tomorrow morning to watch the sun rise over the Atlantic and put my feet in the Atlantic Ocean. So I am kind of sacrificing a little bit in the sense I'll probably be tired because the sun comes up at like 6:45 here right now. So, but I'm going to do it. I'm here for you guys.
Why don't you just do that the day you're leaving if you're flying out early? Why wouldn't you just schedule out to go see this? Or do you leave before the sun rises?
I'm worried. No, I'm not leaving before sunrise. I get nervous about making my flight on time. My flight doesn't leave till 11:30. I probably could do that Thursday morning. I have to return a rental car, and there's a whole big tram and shuttle and everything like that. I get nervous with missing flights. So I would be fine.
What are you at the worst airport ever? That you're worried you're going to lose 6 hours of time?
The airport's 10 minutes away from my hotel. It's actually
how
totally
far
fine.
is the airport from the Atlantic Ocean?
Oh, very, very close, like 10 minutes.
Okay, so if you woke up at sunrise and went to the beach, then went back to your hotel room and rinsed the Atlantic Ocean stink off your feet, then got ready to go.
What? Wait, why does the Atlantic have a stink and the Pacific doesn't?
Because I'm from the Pacific Ocean, so of course I'm going to just naturally hate the Atlantic Ocean.
I'm a Pacific Ocean fan myself. I understand that.
No, you're just a fan. I was born in it, Dave. I was bred in the water as a little baby.
A Bane thing? I was born in the ocean.
Exactly.
You were merely
adopted. The salty, disgusting Pacific Ocean runs through my blood. You simply adopted it because it was the closest ocean to you.
That's fair. I did go in the Atlantic Ocean. I didn't get to see the sunrise, though. I did go in the Atlantic Ocean when I got here on Sunday, and it is saltier. At least here, it was saltier than the Pacific, which I didn't understand.
I find your schedule for your day of leaving is just fascinating. That you're so worried you're going to lose 6 hours of time of getting to the airport on time.
And honestly, until you mentioned that, I was like, oh, well, Wednesday's my last day I'm working here, so clearly I need to make sure I do that Wednesday morning because I'm traveling Thursday. I can't possibly. Oh, yeah. No, I absolutely could do it.
Okay, so I just enlightened you.
Is it snowing?
What are we talking about? Airports? Pretty cool. I like it. I was at an airport.
Dave was stalling for you to get back here.
Oh, that's so nice.
So he helped.
Yeah. Dave, I get to airports really early. Is that what you do?
Yes. We actually were just talking about how I was worried about missing my flight and so how early I needed to get there.
Yeah, I get like way too early. But I like it. I know it's too early and I still like it.
Dave,
I'm with you. I'm with you in the sense that when you're there too early, time kind of stops when you're at an airport. So it's kind of awesome. Like you're just there. I'm like, well, I can't do anything else. So
it's so chill. Yeah, I love it. No pressure. Yeah.
Dave, do you have access to fancy pants airport lounges given that you travel so much for work? Oh, see, if I were you and I had I paid the, whatever membership fee to be in the fancy lounges, I probably would also then get there early because then there's like a nice incentive of going in and getting free shit.
Absolutely. But no, I don't. I don't have that.
I have my Switch.
I need to travel a lot more.
Really nice. I have a Switch. Yeah. Is Doug listening, Chris?
I haven't seen him in chat yet, but he might be.
Okay. I got a shout out to Doug because I broke my fucking Switch on the floor. I dropped it off the nightstand. Totally. The least bad drop I've ever dropped an electronic. And just the left stick totally busted. And
he fixed it for you?
No, but he gave me his Joy-Con.
Oh.
because I'm sending mine to Nintendo. He was like, "Here, I don't game handheld," and I was like, "This is the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me in my whole life."
Does Nintendo like fix it for free when you tell
They
them you
do
fucked it up?
because here's what I did though. I said it's just drifting. I didn't say I
Yes.
dropped it on the floor. I
I'm gonna
said
send this link to Nintendo and say this man's a fucking liar.
they're
Nope.
like our insurance,
Maisie got
our
talking about
auditor. Listen to your podcast.
Exactly.
To be fair, that's it. I did the same thing with my original Switch, where my kids, when James was a baby, he ripped off the covers off of the Joy-Cons, like the little pads that go over the joysticks, and I just sent him in like, yeah, they're drifting, and so they replaced them completely. I'm like, sweet, thanks guys.
Yeah.
It's like woke. You just apply it to everything. Oh, the controller's drifting. I don't know what happened. It's just drifting. It's like mangled with teeth marks from a dog. You're like, yeah, drifting. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's nice that they have such an issue with drifting. I mean, it'd be like
Drifting
Xbox being like, yeah, red ring of death. There's no ring. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. It's what it is.
How long ago did you buy that Xbox? Oh, a month. Well, too bad.
Yep.
Enjoy your lack of an Xbox. And then Microsoft went and killed itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did.
Which is not one of the topical things I have on the list, but it certainly could be.
What?
I don't really have anything that I'm tied to on this list, but Microsoft's demise has
What do
been
we have on the
interesting.
list?
There was a Pokemon leak that was pretty massive yesterday. There's all sorts of things that...
There's a Pokemon leak?
Yeah, it basically was like their roadmap for the next 4 years and beyond, and it mentioned not only when the next generation was coming out, but the next one after that, and some kind of weird open world type game that might have had all of the first 4 regions in it: Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh.
Okay.
So basically everything through Diamond and Pearl.
So
Is it a good roadmap, or is it like, oh, that's kind of underwhelming?
A little bit of both.
Oh.
It's
when do I get my new game that I don't care how bad it is? I'll just still play it.
I believe end of next year was what was no.
ZA just came out.
I don't
yeah.
give a shit
Is
about that.
ZA just like Arceus, where it's like exploration and catching and
It
not?
looks a little different. It looks similar in the way that it's set up, but it looks like less exploration and more battle focused.
Okay.
And you can move around while battling, which is odd. It's
still,
getting decent reviews.
It's so funny because like when you're in terms of sales, right? Like of course Pokemon juggernaut, but like it's really sad to me that a new Digimon game came out and people are like, "Oh my god, this is now better than Pokemon." And I was like, I never thought I'd hear that in my life.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Digimon.
Are in this roadmap, since I'm too lazy to look it up and we're on air.
Well,
Is it remake stuff of any of the things, or is it just two? You said there's 2 new ones mapped out. There's not like a remake one built in there.
I don't remember there being any remakes. Black and White is due for that treatment next, which is one people are excited about, myself included, but I don't believe that was in there.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's not happening. This may have just been like newer stuff, because I don't think there were any remakes, remasters, any of that stuff in there. But yeah, and this is the same person that leaked a bunch of stuff last year, so it seems like it's pretty much legit.
Okay, cool.
So have they ever made a Pokemon like open world experience before? Because it would make sense to do with that being the direction that everything seems to be going.
Scarlet Violet was that, but it was bad.
It was bad and it was glitchy and yeah, it wasn't really great. And like
if it wasn't glitchy, it would have been a completely fine game.
But yeah,
And
I mean,
on,
I
on the
could go fly
Switch
through mountains and
2,
shit.
it is better. Switch 2 got rid of a lot of the graphical issues. You can actually see a lot more Pokemon in the areas. The draw distance is vastly improved. The frame rate's better. So it fixed some of those issues. There's still not enough to do in the open world. This helps at least take back some of the stuff that was masking it, but it still would have been like a 7 out of 10, maybe.
Yeah, Dave, when you say open world, do you want the Pokemon walking around where you can see them and you can run at them and battle them, or do you want the shocking, I ran into a battle all of a sudden, I didn't know it was going to happen? Because pretty much every time you walk through stuff now, you just see them.
Yeah,
Dave wants to steal the Pokemon's cars and run over hookers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I want to beat the hooker up and take her money back. That's pretty much it.
I
With
do like the
Pokemon's
idea
hooker.
of walking up to a trainer, beating the shit out of them, and just taking all their Pokeballs and walking away. That honestly, if you do give me GTA Pokemon, I would probably just play that game for the rest of my life.
You say that, but Pal World is literally you can play it anytime.
I can't play that. It's illegal.
Okay, I'm just
it's bad.
Just said
No,
you
I
were- okay.
I want actual Pokemon.
Okay.
I want the Squirtle squad actually walking around, stealing and.
The sad
almost
thing is, I
murdering
can make
people.
a joke that it is actual Pokemon in Power World because of how much they ripped off Pokemon.
I know, but that's why I don't
might
want
as
to
well.
support it because it's ripping stuff off. I
is,
don't
it
want to
is.
support that.
It really is.
That is what's frustrating about the
No,
Power World fans who I get it. It's easy to hate on Nintendo. They do a lot of shit that deserves to be hated. But it's like, there's been plenty of other games that have toyed around with very similar capture mechanics over the years, and Nintendo hasn't gone after them, but most of them haven't done something so blatant as what Power World did with a lot of their designs.
Like, literally, as a journalist who gets pissed if people plagiarize me, I can't then go support things that are stolen from other stuff. That's a little bit hypocritical of me.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's the meme where it's like, copy my homework, but don't make it too obvious. And it's like, they made it a little bit too obvious.
Yeah.
That's exciting because I like Pokemon. Even bad Pokemon, I'm still entertained.
Are you going to try Digimon?
Probably not. I'm set in my ways.
All right.
I like what I like. I'm 35. I don't need to adventure out to new things. I don't need to try new things.
I'm going to try Digimon. I'll let you know how it goes.
If Digimon has a Farfetch, then he'll be interested.
To be fair, if Power World stole Farfetch'd almost exactly, then maybe I would play it.
I'm sure they did.
Well, did you? Can you find it for me?
No.
I'll look for it right now.
They don't have one that's that close. They have a Luxray ripoff. There's a few other pretty notable ones, but I don't remember a Farfetch.
Damn.
There might be a Farfetch'd Digimon. I'll find it for you. Do you remember the anime?
I do, because I watched it when I was a little kid.
Great.
When Digimon first came out, I was fascinated by it, but then the process of the mechanics and all that didn't appeal to me as much as Pokemon. Pokemon
Hot
was
take.
set out very clear.
Digimon at times better show than Pokemon.
I actually agree with that.
It's season 1.
At times.
The very
season
early
1.
part of it.
And then I think they never did anything worth anything like almost ever again. But that first season was really good.
So that's just one thing that's been topical in the news lately. And I thought since we pulled back Time Capsule that headlines seemed fine. And there's no Molly anymore. Oh no, the Time Capsule's still.
Oh no!
Oh god, no Molly anymore.
Again. Pokemon and the Time Capsule.
Yeah. No Molly, but there's still a chance for us to go into stuff. We have the chance to do that. Let me see if I can get this to work.
Pokemon could go in the Time Capsule.
Oh.
Original Pokemon?
There it is.
Red and blue?
Absolutely.
We're covered. Okay. Fixed. So I just pulled some stuff that was pretty topical because not just things that were recent that we could comment on, but also things that have other stuff going with them. So, for example, the first thing I put in the chat for people, and obviously I need to describe them for the audio listeners, but this was from like a month ago, but Seth MacFarlane was on, ironically enough, Ted Danson's podcast, which is funny because Ted Danson is also on one of the few things that people have called hopeful television in The Good Place.
Ted Danson has a podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
Ted
called...
Danson was in that show, too.
It's called Where Everybody Knows Your Name.
Nice.
Yeah. And basically the gist of what Seth MacFarlane was saying is that because of the success of some of, the biggest names in television, and this isn't even like taking pot shots at The Wire or Breaking Bad or anything, but just that after the success of those shows, a lot of the tone of television has shifted into that negative realm, and that we have examples of shows that are few and far between, like Good Place, like Ted Lasso, like others, but they're few and far between. So I was curious if you agree with Seth or not. Do you think television needs to lean a little bit more back into having some positive stories as well, or is this being overblown by him?
You need both, don't you? Right? Like, you need a healthy mix, but having it all one way or all the other isn't always great, I don't think.
I think it's funny because Ted Danson... Can I give a spoiler from Orville, Dave?
Yes.
He's like a horrible traitor against all of humanity in Orville.
Yes, pretty much.
He's in that show?
Yeah.
But I'm glad you bring up the Orville, because Seth really put his money where his mouth is, because the Orville to me is a show about hope, a show about look what we can do in the future. Yes, we're going to face challenges, but look what humanity can achieve in the future if we can put aside our differences. So the Orville did a great job of that, and so Seth
they did
made that show that.
Yeah, but there's there's really, really bad conflict. They don't shy away from really tough decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, more often than not, people overcome hardships rather than the message is we're all doomed. But okay, so you look at Breaking Bad. I don't even think Breaking Bad, the overall message, even Walter White is yeah, I kind of fucked up. And so it's not there's very few shows where it's wow, that whole thing was such a horrible bummer, and the message is we're all fucked.
I guess
that's the shows that come to mind on that are The Walking Dead. Well, that was a complete dystopian. We're all fucked no matter what. The Last of Us has a little bit of that too, with the popularity of that. I mean, I played The Last of Us 2, and that is, as Chris has so aptly described, misery porn, and I agree because it is.
Yeah, but not at the end, right? Now it could have been. Had a couple other decisions been made, but
Yeah,
again,
it's
like
still pretty miserable.
if you're plumbing the depths of like misery to ultimately arrive at a message that is hopeful and positive, I'm great with that. If it's there's nothing we can do, the Smile movies come to mind where it's like, once a demon has you, there's nothing you can do. You're fucked. There's not even a way to fight back.
That's what I was like. I mean, I guess is he referring to like prestige, top notch, the best TV that gets awarded and all that? Because I feel like I watch plenty of shit that is like nice, escape, goofy, happy. Like the stakes are low. I mean, I mentioned it, I don't know, months ago, but like I really liked the new medical comedy that was on NBC called St. Dennis. Like, it's a very fun show. Sure, there's some stakes and all that. It doesn't go as far as Scrubs does, at least not yet in its first season, in terms of there's some genuine death and problems and all that. But it's just a goofy workplace comedy thing. I haven't watched it, but I've seen that like the paper has gotten decent reviews on
I'm
NBC
excited.
and got renewed. Like that show, sure, it's like about like again, does The Office like negative because they're constantly at risk of being shut down? Like, does that classify into that's not peppy and happy enough when that's the underlying vibe? Because to me, there's plenty of shows that are still like that. I find them and watch them. The Studio, I love The Studio. It won a bunch of awards. The studio stakes are pretty fucking low. It's does the movie studio fuck up famous rich people's stuff or not? And it's just funny. It's not like the stakes are that serious.
But I think that's like, because if it's a show that is not a comedy, like once it's lost in a comedy, I'm much more open to it.
So you're talking like drama, hopeful.
If it's a
type
drama
stuff
that is constantly happy, and like Chris knows this, we I don't want to say clash on this, but like he knows, if it's like a really happy drama, I'm like it's not.
And that's what I'm
it
like.
It doesn't appeal to me. I can't get into it.
Yeah, like what genre is he talking about of television that?
Well,
like,
he brings a Handmaid's Tale, and actually, that's a great
The Handmaid's
example.
And sure, there's
it's horrible.
Yeah, and sure, there's a
It is
genre of shows that dive into dystopian. And we've dived in that. I watch Silo. Like I there's plenty of shows that like go pretty deep into that. You guys have talked. You mentioned Walking Dead. I'm like, but I don't think that's all that's on television. I guess is the way I look at it.
Let me tell.
It's
I choke. Really
it
quick.
talks a lot. Yeah, it talks a lot. Like that's what's talked about, I think, amongst people, right? Like that's kind of like what's in the zeitgeist of popularity right now.
Yeah,
right?
The problem is with Handmaid's Tale, though.
Severance is like that in a way, and that's the show gets talked
okay.
Yes.
I'm glad you brought that up though, because Severance. The difference between Severance and Handmaid's Tale so far, Handmaid's Tale is, I think, doesn't have to be in this category, but it is because bad storytelling. They have no pacing. So they don't know how long they're going for. So at the end of every season, they're just back to the status quo of all the men run everything, all the women lose at every turn because we have to keep the show going.
Yeah.
So it really feels like, okay, there's no hope. And if that's what you're going for to reflect current times or whatever, fine. It does not make for a very fun watch. I will tell you that. Severance, we're 2 seasons in and they're already starting a revolution and they're saying like, hey, our lives matter too. I don't think it's going to be in the same boat, but it all depends on the storytelling. If you keep going back to this miserable status quo because you're bad at story execution, I mean, like anything could be in that.
In a way, I mean, the way Severance ends its second season probably depressed a bunch of people because they were leaning one way of wanting to make one decision versus the other. But I don't think that qualifies in this category.
The bad people who only care about the humans, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, I mean, like, but again, it doesn't make them. The other humans on the outside aren't inherently bad. Not everyone's a bad person.
Right. Right.
Like the outside world people. But that's what I'm saying. Like there's a touch of that. But like that's what, to your point, that's what a drama television show is. If it's happy-go-lucky the entire time, then I don't know what we're
My point
watching.
is, what's the point? Right.
Yeah.
What's the point is happy-go-lucky? Ted Lasso, which I guess you could almost categorize it as a comedy, but like it's a drama. It presents sort of as a drama. And it's pretty happy-go-lucky, but the stakes are pretty real, too. You can latch on to the divorcee dad struggling to connect with his kid, this team that hates each other.
And that's what I was like. I was wondering what is he specifically referring to? Because in a way, it's like this is you're telling me this has only happened in the last like 5-10 years. Every fucking Law and Order has been on the TV for 30 years. So those are happy shows. the show that's been the longest running show that exists. Don't fucking get at me and be like, oh, well, TV's gotten so negative now. SVU's been on for like 27 years, and half of those episodes, even if they solve the case, end up being like, oh, well, they raped somebody else in the meantime that we didn't realize. Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, those shows are also bummer negative shows that are on TV for decades. It's just weird, this idea that it's only now.
But it's not dystopian. And Sean brought up a good point about, in these times, like if you want to have the hopelessness message in these times, because a lot of people do feel that way. However, I disagree. In times in which people feel hopeless, I almost feel like you need TV to be a reflection of hope, because people feed off of that to a sense. I feel like if you feel hopeless in a political time, no matter what your party affiliation is, I almost feel like your TV should be the opposite of that, to alleviate that in a sense. And that's not essentially what's happening. It's kind of like people have all this lack of hope in the world right now, and we're also watching shows like The Handmaid's Tale, which is just affirming that, basically.
Would you consider The 100, and again, this is an older show, to be dystopian and lack hope as that show goes on and continues new challenges?
Yeah, until the end.
Because they always,
that's actually a problem I had with the end of the series.
Sure.
Now, I was saying normally the season finale, most of the time, they
positions you in a happy way.
Yeah.
And then the first episode of the second episode of the next season normally introduces your new challenge, and you're all fun.
But that's why I hated the overall finale, which I thought which
I haven't got to yet, but I will.
Yeah.
So that's what I was just curious. Like, maybe I just avoid these shows. I'm just like, I don't think there's that many dystopian shit. I just don't watch a lot of it, or I mix it in with a lot of other comedy and shit like that. So I was like, I don't watch the 100 and then be like, wow, man, what another downer. Like, they're fucked over again. I'm like, no, I kind of came away from most of the end of the seasons being like, oh, cool, they found a comfortable spot. Then if the show time jumps, you skip over the happy idle time. I get that they're not showing you that, but they're not presenting the characters as having lived in misery. They're presenting the characters as been like, well, for the last 6 months, it's actually been pretty chill, and then there's a new problem. A good though.
So reading this article, like a good example is The Sopranos, and talking about the anti-hero. And so less about like, where does the show messaging end up, and more about like the journey. And we have had a lot of anti-heroes lately. The Dexter, the Walter White, like that's Saul, right? He got his own spinoff. Still anti-hero doing anti-hero things. Guys, Cody has been here. You saw him already.
No, they didn't.
Siri.
She didn't. Only he came up. I'll be back.
All right.
And that's what I think when I saw The Sopranos, I'm just like, well, like, I just didn't know what exact genre we're really, really talking about of like this dystopian vibe. Again, I think I just don't watch those shows.
Research what's
because
like
I've said
popular
this,
right now.
I've said this a bunch of times. Like, me watching dramas is like few and far between, because I think I've stated the exact point of he's kind of making. I just am not bitching about television in a way of there's enough like bummer shit in the news. I don't really want to watch bummer shit on TV in my free time and bum myself out. Mm-hmm. I know that's robbed me of watching a lot of really good television. I am very well aware of it, but it just doesn't quite interest me. So like, I watched Severance in pieces, very slowly here and there. Once the season was done, I would go through it. Because again, I'm just like, all right, well, this is like, I don't really enjoy this world very much if I'm being honest.
Here's an example, though. Just first example I brought up, so I think it's interesting. Daredevil, the most recent season. Now, a lot of people don't know, like the casual viewers aren't aware that it's first half of a story. Mm-hmm. So they're watching a season of television where the finale comes on, and the really horrible sort of like Trump analogy character assumes ultimate power and control, kills the head of police in front of all the other policemen, runs the city, and all the good guys are like, it's looking really bad. And the season ends. You're like, okay, so in some ways, I can see that would probably be an example of a dystopian thing that is very unlike the Orville, let's say, for example.
It's interesting that it's McFarlane of all people, because the Orville deserves credit, I think, for being an example of uplifting storytelling overall, as Dave already alluded to. But then again, he's also the front runner for Family Guy, which I would think is maybe one of the most cynical cartoons we've ever seen.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
And you can do different things. I'm not saying you have to be pigeonholed into one or the other, but it's interesting from him saying this because he's kind of been pushing both in different ways over the last 15, 20 years.
Yellow Jacket's another bad example, or good for him.
Because I had an example that I thought of in a way, because it is dystopian in a way that. So we know how Andor ends because we watched the movie telling us how Andor ends. But the whole premise of that is in a dystopian, Star Wars-y, whatever world. I watched it and I was like, well, this is hopeful, and I know how it ends, so I know it's a happy ending in a way. Granted, what happens to him isn't super happy, but for the greater population, that's a big achievement. So it's like, I guess that's a version where I'm like, well, this is kind of a dystopian thing, but I'm like, I don't think there's no hope in that show the whole time.
So the counter I would have to what Dave said, and it's not contradicting what you said, Dave, but like, I think I agree that the TV needs to reflect the times, but like Andor hits because it's like, hey, look what can happen if you take current climate and you ramp it up like quite a few degrees, but like that's where it becomes relevant. Is you're seeing this like allegory play out, and that's where it has value, and also like this need to like fight. That's where it matters. So that's why I think it's important, even though it is dystopian. It is kind of depressing in a lot of ways. Then you have shows like Monster, where they say, we're gonna take a story of a serial killer, and we're going to glorify it basically, and we're going to show all these murders that like people weren't really there for, so nobody knows, but we're going to show it and we're going to ramp it up so you feel as bad as possible.
I mean, like the true crime angle of a lot of that stuff, where I'm like that's where I was like, we really dove deep into that like genre, and I'm like, I don't know why we're so interested in that genre. Like sitting there and just trying to get
and stuff.
Yeah, trying to get into the psyche of why a bunch of people kill a bunch of other people. Again, like Dexter, you used Dexter earlier, and Dexter's tries to anti-hero it of, well, he's killing only other murderers. Well, then Dexter starts killing some innocent people because he's pretty fucking selfish. Let's not, which guess what? That's when the show got fucking bad. And now apparently this new season that they put on there that everyone likes again, and it would help salvage it. I'm like, not really, because he already did a bunch of shitty things in the universe. It's not like it's a reboot. I already know what he did, and it doesn't make him redeemable anymore. Versus what you were trying to get at in the first couple seasons. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
The show You is an example of like horrificness, and for the anti-hero, and for some reason people cheering for him. I could never figure out how people watched that show and was like okay with the main character. I'm like, this guy's a legitimate psychopath.
Well,
it's the stalker guy.
It's the same fucking people that write to murderers in prison in real life.
Exactly. And it's like that if that's what he's trying to get at with this stuff, I'm like, yeah, there's some weird stuff, but I just think that more is not so necessarily dystopian, but a lot of true crime adapted weird shit where I'm like, yeah, you're just really fetishizing like murder.
Yes.
And that's what it was.
And that makes me uncomfortable. It has always made me really uncomfortable.
Yes.
Well, I feel bad enough in fiction horror movies where I'm like, oh man, that really sucks for those people. Who's going to tell their families? All that. No, it actually, they're showing the murder. This really happened to people.
And like, I used Law and Order as an example, but like, there's a bunch of other like longer running shows that pop up. Like, I'm blanking. Criminal. I can't remember.
Criminal
Minds. Is that the one where it's like they're just tracking a new serial killer and they're all fucked up and
it's
constantly?
There's a procedural though, in a sense. Those are the same ideas that true crime podcast. And people enjoy the procedure of it.
And like Bones does this. I'm like, my problem with these procedurals is I'm like, the procedurals are also going through being like, oh, this person like eats fucking meat off of people's bones and shit. I'm like, this isn't fucking normal. This isn't fucking, what the fuck world do you live in that there's a new serial killer that's so fucked up every fucking week? And I'm like, that's not normal. That's fucking weird. And the fact that all of those shows going even deeper than Law and Order, I'm like, those shows have been on for so long. I'm like, I just point out that like, this problem he's kind of looking at. I'm like, again, it's not dystopian, but it's weird, dark shit goes back a lot longer than most recently.
Hannibal is a good example.
Exactly.
To your point too of it's like, okay, we're trying to find the killer before he strikes again, and like throughout the course of the episode, he strikes like five more times. And you're like, Are you guys gonna do anything? Like
fucking killing
in
people.
Hannibal's case, like fucking Hannibal gets to the killer before so they don't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you know what? The longer we talk, the more I'm like, yeah, Seth MacFarlane maybe has a point.
I think he has a point. I just think it wasn't delivered in the exact way I fully agree with. I'm just like, I'm like right over here while he's here, being like, yeah, you're right. But I would use slightly different phrasing in terms of how fucked up everything
And that was
is.
kind of my takeaway from this, but I didn't want to lead with that. I wanted you guys to feel your way through it, was that I agree with the overall premise, but not necessarily the way it was delivered, because in part because of the pandemic, but also in part because of the TV landscape, Ted Lasso stood out for its overall tone and message. It was uncommon at that time, and still is now, because we have other shows that have done it, but like it's still the exception and not the rule. And I even felt a little bit of that when I watched the most recent Superman movie. Now, that was more so compared to other Superman representations, Zack Snyder, but it was still a reminder of like, oh yeah, it is nice to have some occasions where I can like take in some media and walk out of it not feeling worse about myself.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to become the new standard. I don't want that to be what all media is.
I guess
but it is nice now in comparison to be like, okay, if I need an escape from regular life when it sucks, maybe there should be a few more things I can turn to.
We agree on that, Chris. Like, Superman's a great example of like enough drama, but like it's an overall happy tone. Like, kindness is the new punk rock. It was like the best line of 2025. Like, I fucking love it.
After I ranted whatever last week, 2 weeks ago about being like, people are just mean in this world. It's like, it really wouldn't hurt to just throw some of that material out there into the sphere, and maybe all the mean people are gonna be like, oh, it's a bunch of pussy shows I don't care about watching. But I'm like, I don't know. For me, I sure as hell would like it to be around. I don't want to spoil too much, but like Peacemaker season was fascinating. I don't know if I should. Dave, you're not going to watch that show, are you?
Which
I've never even heard of it.
About? Are you talking about Rick Flag?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Chris, if I spoil this, is it bad? Okay.
Chris was just about to watch.
We literally jumped into a world run by Nazis, and the reaction to everybody was like, holy fucking shit, what the fuck? The Nazis won? This is terrible.
Yeah.
And it was like refreshing to we like, again, it's the nice twist of like, oh, it's a nice world. And it's like, it's not very nice. We know where we're going. And then, so the penultimate episode of that, I just thought did a really good job of being like, I should feel miserable about the thing that this show is trying to show me. And I didn't feel miserable about it. I came away being like, oh, cool. The bad guy who's, not white, or the I don't know what the fuck to call him, is not white, and then you bring people together because it's like, oh, well, we have a common enemy of something that's way worse than the shit we're dealing with in our universe. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of fucking nice.
Yeah.
And then we get to, again, Augie's character being like limited Nazi. I wouldn't go as far as the internet did of like, oh, look at how great of a guy he is. I'd be like, oh, cool, he's like less Nazi.
Complicated Nazi.
Yeah. And so it's like, even that show, I'm like, I probably should come away from that show a little bit more depressed and bummed out. And I didn't. I came away being like, and again, it's supposed to also be funny.
No, well, and so there's that. I mean, and the Superman is just another example, because I think back to the Snyderverse, where it's all dreary, and down to the palette is depressing. And then the scene everybody knows where he's Ara farming over the truck and it destroys the building. And then you have the new Superman is saving the squirrel.
Yeah.
And a building from falling on one person. And it's like, that's refreshing. And that's a type of hero. That's why I think that movie is so good, is he's revealing like a new type of hero. And again, when we go back to the Marvel stuff, and it's like, yeah, reactionary wise, they can be pretty cool. But like this Superman, he's like, I'm out there like saving like the regular people.
Yeah.
And you don't get that a lot from like even the Marvel movies. I don't know. I thought it was so refreshing.
I thought Gunn did that in the first Guardians movie. I mean, the I'm blanking on what they're called. Everyone coming together trying to help link up to protect the planet.
Yeah, the Nova Corps.
The Nova Corps trying to hold that together, dealing with the Guardians and all that, along with Yondu and all of them. It's like, they're just trying to save all the innocent people that are on the ground of this planet that don't know what the fuck's about to happen above them. And a lot of that final battle is based on, we really need to hold that together. So I think Gunn touched on that a little bit in a broader world-ending sphere still, and then we get it in the third one with trying to save all of the weird animal hybrid people and all that. But I think because Superman's grounded, even though he's an alien, into real like Earth life and not space life, I feel like that hits even more when he was already starting to sprinkle that in a little bit in some of the other Marvel stuff he did, which went against the stuff we've talked about in Avengers, where it's like they're just flying around in New York in the first Avengers thing, breaking all kinds of shit.
Well, and so I hate to do that, not because it's Dave. I just hate to land in this spot of, I think, just coming full circle. Like, you need the Superman movies that are really hopeful, but like I also want like the Infinity Wars and like the stuff that makes you think.
Yeah.
So like you kind of need both.
I mean, it's not the same.
And I hate
feel
to
like
say
Sean
that, like,
didn't-
oh, you just need both. That's the
I feel
answer.
like-
But
I feel like Sean missed completely where I said the best thing is to have a healthy mix of both.
You did say
'Cause
that.
I
No,
did
no,
say
no.
that about 15
sorry,
minutes ago.
I was trying to make it clear. I'm not mad that I'm agreeing with you mostly. I'm just anytime we reach the end, and I know the whole thing is called gray areas, but when we're like, it's just a healthy mix, I feel like it's like a cop out. But it like really,
That's
it really
what
is
our
what
show
we
is
need.
about,
We,
though.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the same universe, but like to your point of if you want to go DC angle and limit it to that, Penguin was not an upbeat, happy show.
no,
It's a pretty dark fucking
No.
show with a dark fucking ending.
yeah,
Really dark ending. And again,
that's another example.
I know that that's not in the Superman version of that DC
Yeah.
universe,
Still,
but it's still DC Warner produced shit, and they're like, here's a show of this, and here's a movie of this. Here you go. Here's a nice mix of that.
Even Batman, for like, they were trying to make it very grounded, very gritty, and they did. But like, his ultimate thing was like, oh, maybe I can actually be like a beacon of hope and not just like beat up criminals in the middle of the night. Maybe like I have a higher calling.
Yeah.
And like helping people like in a flood.
You mean Reeves as Batman, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
It's like, oh, that's probably a good message for a Batman movie to have.
Yeah,
So,
it was.
Yeah.
Penguin was just the grittier,
Penguin,
shittier
and
side of
and
the
I think
fallout
that
of that.
belongs too.
Yeah.
I think that matters, and that's a good story. But
I mean, again, in the universe of itself, it's like you're giving some hope and then being like, well, here's some grounded, shitty side reality of it and all that.
That's headline number one. Remember when we used to try and like make those into 5-minute windows
and
and
we
it was
like
bad?
we couldn't sometimes.
Yeah. No, I picked some of these out. Some of these I've had set aside for a few weeks because I'm like, oh, that might be an interesting one for the show. So I'm glad that it was taken to. This one is a video, and I will
Oh, I saw this.
I will
Oh,
play
okay.
it and then just briefly describe what's on it and let it play in the background for the
Okay.
video folks.
I
But for
wanna
the
interrupt.
audio folks, it's essentially showing, and this is a basketball topic, but don't run. It's just for a minute. Like the complexities of trying to play defense now versus 35 years ago in the era that everybody glorifies as like the big era of defense. And it's just showing a bunch of like team-oriented defense about all 5 guys having to run all over the place up to 30 feet from the basket. And we've talked about this aspect of it as far as defense goes. But what I thought was interesting was this one tackling about also, it might be why injuries are way up. Even
Yeah.
though we have better sports medicine than ever before, we're also asking a lot more out of people's bodies than we ever have before.
Yeah, the change of direction on those cuts on your knees and ankles is horrific.
Well, and actually, it's funny
Mhm.
that this came out. Steve Nash recently was talking about like defense these days, and the point he made was you're having to cover more space than you ever did before. You can't hide. Like if you're bad at defense, it's really hard to hide these days. And the acceleration, Steve Nash calls it like A cells and D cells, which I was so cool. But yeah, just the wear and tear on the body, it's so much more than it ever was before. And so when everybody, first of all, it's like, oh, the glory days in the 80s. No. And then also like, yeah, this, when we talk about wear and tear, why people are getting injured so much, they're wanting to look at, oh, maybe the players shouldn't wear leg compression bands anymore. And it's like, no, maybe it's just we play too many games is really what it comes down to for this style of play.
Oh, like the 80s and 90s is tough because like you can punch someone in the face. I really get punched in the face and have to like jump back and forth on my fucking joints over and over again,
Yeah.
cutting back and forth. Because I'm like, I'd rather just be punched and have a black eye than put all that strain on my Achilles and my fucking ACL over and over again before it blows.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
I am never one to defend the 80s and 90s as the golden era of basketball because I think today's game is superior in many ways. The athletes today, if you plopped them back in the 80s, they would be freaks of nature back then. But I will say this video did cherry pick a little bit as far as like very stagnant offense, triangle offenses versus slashing offenses. However, I agree with the overall point of the 90s defense versus the 80s defense. The 90s defense versus today's defense. I was just watching yesterday a clip of they had some documentary about the Lakers and Celtics, since they played every year in the finals in the 80s. I am blown away. Magic Johnson would bring the ball up, stop at the 3-point line on the top of the key, and his defender was literally in the paint.
Yeah.
If you did that in today's game, Try doing that to Steph Curry.
No.
He'd fucking hit every three in your instantly.
Dave, no,
if you're playing defense like that.
How many point guards could not punish that in today's game? I think is even more of the point.
Yeah.
If you're in the paint
It's-
and the point guard's at the top of the 3-point line, like
They will hit
that's
it.
the
How many
point. Every
centers will
player
do
can
that?
punish it now.
Centers.
Which is why you end up with
Yusuf
switches.
Nurkic could hit threes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the centers can hit
But
threes
it's-
even. Yeah.
It's so difficult to hear people defend that era as tough defense and everything like that because it's so intricate now. I don't think people know what they're watching anymore. They don't know how intricate this defense is and how many assignments everybody is and how quick you have to make decisions on the fly to properly switch. It's insane.
I mean, it'd be tough for the people inside the paint getting their ass kicked over and over again. Like a smaller segment, sure, in the 80s and 90s, it would have been tough and more aggressive and you would have been getting hacked inside.
Well,
But
yeah.
it's like 1 or 2 players and not cutting across for 10 players.
People equate, I think, more physical to like better defense. I think it was more physical back then because just the nature, like you were allowed to get away with more
you
stuff.
just hit each other.
But that doesn't mean that the defense was not what was better because it clearly wasn't. I saw this on a Reddit post, and it was very refreshing to see the comments. Were like logical people, and they're like, honestly, this is the case on all sports now. Like if you look at soccer, the level of like they brought up some player, I don't remember his name, where it's like he was like borderline like obese, and it was one of the best players in soccer because it was just so much less. Siri, what are you doing? He is married. Come here.
Hi.
Yeah, and they were saying even football, the amount of like packages and offenses and plays is so much more robust nowadays. It's just all sports so much more involved and complicated. And to argue against that, you're kind of just revealing your own ignorance.
I don't want to watch 1970s football. I have no interest.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I can't believe it. I can't believe that sport became the most popular sport in like the country because it's disgusting and terrible. Cool. Let's watch a guy run for 4 yards and get blasted by it. But it's so
people
boring.
say like when somebody's blindsided by a hit that nowadays would be illegal, they're like, "Oh, bring us back to the glory days." And you're like,
no,
yeah, great.
I don't want to watch
where
that.
people are getting killed and CTEs.
We
everywhere.
have a similar problem in wrestling too because we have so many like unprotected chair shots to the head back around circa 2000 that legitimately are hard to watch now just on their own. I mean, obviously, as we get further away from the concussion-laden era of football and wrestling and all of that, it becomes a little bit more foreign. But like when you also think about what's happened to the football players' brains who retired, we mentioned Chris Benoit last week. That's another like all the stuff that we now know about how the brain reacts to it. It's legitimately uncomfortable to watch. As fun as it was, as much as I loved NFL Blitz and all this other shit, like things have changed, and it's kind of similar to this clip where it's like this is just a different era. It's not even necessarily worth comparing anymore. And you can look at the 90s and the defense in this clip versus the 50s, where you have guys taking fucking set shots and missing a ton of 15-footers and like no one's ever even running. Like eras just change. I know we had nothing to do but compare eras, but it's like maybe we shouldn't because there's nothing to compare.
You don't often get the comparison of like the first years of basketball compared to now. It just like doesn't. People aren't.
You can't.
They just don't do it a lot, right? You can't. And I think you're getting to the point. I think Chris brings up a very good point of like you almost can't even do it now, like with the 70s and 80s, arguably 90s to now. It's so different.
I mean, baseball literally writes in. I mean, it's unofficial, but like baseball literally goes like, "Here's a dead ball era." Like it kind of breaks up the segments of when the mound was bigger and pitchers dominated.
We
Versus
should do
then
that in basketball.
Steroids started coming and there was power. Like now it's like it's all homers or strikeouts and like. Baseball kind of unofficially classifies a bunch of these segments of time of when the sport was slightly different. And there's a gray area of when they transition, but it's like baseball kind of does inherently mention that of basketball has the 3-point line not existing and then existing. And that's like kind of the best it has in terms of splitting versions
and
of
the
sport.
shot clock.
And the shot clock, yes.
Yeah, well, zone defense to me is one of the big determinators of how defense has changed. Because if you watch those 90s clips, the fact you can't play zone and you can only double team or play man, the amount of times that they just said, okay, we're going to throw 4 offensive players on this side of the court and let Michael Jordan stand on this side of the court. Have fun guarding him, Craig Elo. Like, good luck. Like, it's so now obviously you can't do anything like that because great, you want to have Kobe, Luka, LeBron, whomever the great ISO player of the day is, we're just going to shade 3 other players your way. Have fun trying to drive into 3 guys
And
because it's not going to work.
To Sean's
So,
point,
yeah, I have to build your argument.
like we don't talk about how George Mikan would play in today's game. You know why? We have no fucking clue. Who's even watched George Mikan play? I'm a huge NBA fan. I've seen like 3 clips of him in his heyday.
And what would be the point? I guess is like to like.
Yeah.
So if we could say Michael Jordan was the greatest of that era, and LeBron is the greatest of this era, and then you can start to say like, okay, like who is better? But it becomes more of an argument for their time, and it's more interesting than like, well, Jordan in today's game. I fucking hate that. Put LeBron back in the 90s. It's like of the pointless thought exercises that we can do. That has to be among the highest. Like it's crazy.
It is absolutely insane. And yet we've taken part of it on this show. And yet there are Twitter pages out there today that all they do is post how much better Michael Jordan is than LeBron. It's like, how are you still getting engagement on this?
And
it's insane.
One of my favorites was like, if you put LeBron back in the 50s, the league wouldn't even know what to do. And I'm like, well, if you put LeBron back in the 50s, he'd have some other problems.
I was going to say, there's a whole other category of when we didn't let certain people of a certain skin color play sports.
Yeah.
So do we really want to dive into that? I mean, shit. How much of Mikan's career was he even playing against black players? Like half of it?
About half.
I would say it's like 1950, right? Somewhere around there when basketball had black players playing in. So I'm pretty sure Mike was playing for a decent chunk before the 50s.
Yeah. I mean, now the newest thing is comparing, somehow quantifying the level of help each player had, and then comparing that. And you're like, wow, there's a whole like ESPN maybe is afloat these days because of the GOAT debates, of every sport. Who's the best? Now let's talk about the best across all the sports. I fucking hate it.
The best athlete.
If you did a Mount Rushmore of all sports, who would be on it?
We should just do a bracket where it's like, who's the best athlete of their sport, even if we can't compare their sports against each other. Sounds great.
Great. Let's compare Tony Hawk and Tom Brady. That makes sense, right?
I mean, literally, it's what they do, though. Oh, but you can't do Tony Hawk. You gotta have Serena Williams, and it's just like, oh my god, you do. But also, what's the point? So, I'm glad. Again, to circle back to this, you can't compare eras. It is much more complex now. I think it's more fun. I'm hoping we're entering a time of a lot more parity. Although we'll see, maybe Oklahoma City wins the next 5 championships, and then it's the same problem we've always had. But
I mean, we're in the middle of it. 7 different champions in 7 years.
Exactly. So like, it feels good. Keep it up. To me, it's so much more interesting than like, it's the Lakers or the Celtics.
This is a big reason why for a long time, and now that the NBA is catching up to it, I've been like, the NHL playoffs are really fun. The best teams don't always win, and it's kind of hard to repeat. And we've had a couple like win, then didn't make it, then win again, like runs and shit like that in hockey. But it's like hockey's fucking all over the place. And that's why the Panthers repeating the last 2 years was like fucking crazy. They were managing to do that.
You can have I like the occasional like dynasty in a sport. You can't have like the NBA from like what was it, the 80s to the 2000.
You can go back further.
10 if you really you can.
I think it was it was like between the 80s and 2014. I think it was like 6 champions or 7 champions total.
Yeah.
Like in that entire stretch.
Yeah. Lakers, Houston, Chicago. I mean, we don't need to go all of it, but a very small handful.
Spurs,
And so you look at the Suns, they've never won, and you're like, well, that's, to be fair, for like 30 years, no one else won.
It's like there's a big gap of it basically was, Lakers, Celtics eating up a bunch of fucking championships with a mix in and a couple others. So.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to bring up on this was that it's weird that the NBA is really the only league that compares eras like this. Nobody's like, man, if Gordie Howe was in today's NHL, like, watch the fuck out. Or like, you line Walter Payton up in the backfield and he's going to run amok in today's NFL. Like, they don't do that. And it's odd to me because you would think baseball would. Because baseball is all about its historical numbers. It's part of why people love the game is you can be like, oh, yeah, what did fucking Jim Bob Herring hit in 1902? And like, you can go look that shit up. He hit 340 against a bunch of fucking plumbers, like actual plumbers and handymen. But I still think it's weird. I mean, baseball has every reason to do it and don't, but in some reason it's like the soup du jour of the NBA. I've never really understood why. I guess it's because it works, but
the NBA attracts like more casuals than anyone, right? Like, isn't that? And maybe
if you want to dive into which of the 4 professional leagues has the like lowest average IQ of playing it, I have a feeling I know which sport that would be.
Well, and I think it's just because it's so tailor made for like, oh, highlight. It's a 2-second clip of a dunk, and they're like, that's my basketball for the week.
Of the 4 major sports, what's the easiest one to go out and play without having that much equipment?
Yeah.
The easiest casual sport is basketball. You just got to go find a hoop somewhere. Can't go easily play hockey. Can kind of play football in a way. It's probably the next easiest, but you can't like do fucking like baseball's a fucking pain in the ass to go out and play. Like,
well,
I know
tough.
I have kids that play baseball,
but like basketball is like pretty tough too.
It's really not.
Because football.
Find a park.
Well, it depends. Okay, it depends to what extent you're trying to play. With football,
replicating the actual professional version of it, basketball's the easiest because you can't play tackle football.
Okay, if you're going to that level, because I was gonna say, just take out a football and throw it, and
you just need more people. I think you can play basketball 1-on-1, 2-on-2. Football, you kind of need like 5-on-5.
But you gotta have a hoop
minimum.
I just feel like hoops are somewhat.
They're pretty ubiquitous.
And now, granted, you can get in trouble for being on school grounds and shit like that. And I don't mean for like adults. I just mean for like children and kids. Like a lot of rec places put up a basketball court or a basketball hoop. You put one on your garage door. There's just like, even in smaller spaces, I just feel like that's a sport that's easier to kind of.
I wonder about the IQ statement though, because football, I would think football is the lowest
That's what
IQ.
I was referring to as the dumbest.
Oh, you were.
Football, yes.
Maybe, but I'm a basketball fan. I didn't get that, so that means
I was referring to football as being the dumbest one.
I'm dumb, and I'm a basketball fan.
Well, football starts off dumb, and then they get hit brain injuries, and
it
makes it
right.
worse.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think basketball's probably second, but football's.
Basketball is probably second.
Football is funny because it appeals to dumb people that watch it a lot, but actually to participate in the sport, you have to be insanely attuned to and attentive to the sport and have pretty high IQ because it's so complex.
The sample size of new things to bitch and moan about, there's 17 football games, there's 82 motherfucking basketball games. Also, so you inherently pull out of more bullshit.
Do you ever so often I'm around like football fans who are like, I watch every Sunday, and I hear, and
that's what I do.
No, just let me finish my point. You hear they're dedicated fans, and you hear them talk, and I'm not like a huge football fan, and I can tell, I'm like, you don't know a fucking thing that's happening right now, and you're like saying you watch every week, and they're like, oh, go do the thing, run. Like you don't know anything.
As opposed to getting the really nerdy analytical shit of like, oh, well, that gap scheme on that blocking process,
at least I know you watch it.
Goes off tackle, and then the pulling guard comes through and picks up the next level. That turbo nerdy shit that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like yelling at your quarterback, no, come on, throw it.
I mean, I'll do that. I'll be like, again, it's like, well, throw it because there's a check down right across your face. I know it's your third read, but like, get to your fucking read faster is a little bit different than fucking throw the ball, I guess.
Yeah, just throw it. Just throw it.
I will say, after like 4 seconds in the pocket, any fan is allowed to say, get rid of the ball because scientifically from football, you got to get rid of the ball in like 2.5 seconds.
But you would be like, oh, he's clearly not, like the line's not protecting him enough. Like they need to buy him more time. You don't get that. So that's why everybody wants to watch football. It's like the sexy sport to want to watch.
It's the easiest
and have the Sunday ritual.
Yes, it's the
which
easiest
is built into that only 17 games part. But
that's why fantasy works best for football and why it attracts the most dumb casual people. Is because it's on a set, regular, scheduled basis. It happens. That's why when COVID happened and we had Wednesday football games for delays, I thought it was like the funniest shit in the world to me because the world like lost it. It was like, we can't have this shit. I'm like, motherfucker, I have to fucking write on a calendar when my hockey team is playing each week so I don't miss a game because it's hard to keep track of back-to-back 3 days off then play, then 1 day, then play. It's fucking insane.
Well, yeah, Chris and I are always like, when does this play again?
Exactly.
When is it?
Yeah.
So the best thing ESPN's app on my phone has ever given me is just the schedule. I just go to the schedule so I know when the fuck the team's playing.
Yep.
Let's get to the last headline. We're not talking about Taco Bell.
I think that feature doesn't exist anymore already, by the way.
The what?
I think that feature of pricing it, I don't believe it exists already.
Is it gone? Well, that's an old headline, so that's even better than we're not going to.
Yeah, because Dave got us Taco Bell when we were in Phoenix, and I did not see that feature in the app anymore.
I will use this as an opportunity to do this thing I was going to do last week quickly.
Cool.
Shouldn't take long, like 10 minutes.
Surprise?
Scary.
I was going to have you get whiteboards, but Dave can't, so we'll just do it more informally because that's fine.
I have a napkin and a pen.
All right.
Starbucks?
You guys grab your whiteboards.
The Starbucks napkin, right?
Although I feel like
No.
something's
No,
missing.
No, this is from my
here.
chicken wing place.
Oh,
Oh no, it's not missing. I have to put it in when it's done. Okay, I remember now.
the pins are up there.
All right, this is going to be like a little miniature trivia thing, and it's not going to be the most audio friendly. I have tried to make everything I've done for trivia night be pretty much as good in audio as it is in video.
All right.
I'll give you some descriptions of what they're seeing, so it's not going to be completely useless, but it's part of why I'm not sure about this, and I just want to see how about the level of difficulty. I think these are going to be relatively easy, although one person will struggle on one of them, and one person may struggle on another one. But
I'm the person on both.
And I won't struggle on anything.
Dave, be careful. You almost made a Nazi gesture, but yes, you will not struggle.
I kind of was doing a wide.
I won't
sweeping
struggle
gesture,
on
and I see
anything.
what you
Great.
meant.
Thanks,
I
white
will
man.
not struggle on a thing.
So if you remember the trivia game Who Am I, based on Stump the Schwab, you have like a series of clues, and you eventually decide like, okay, I'm going to lock in at this point for this many points.
Oh, I'm gonna be bad at this.
Hermione Granger.
This only has 2 points, and you saw
Okay.
briefly last week I flashed a map on the screen of some kind.
I don't remember that.
This is
I
going to be
remember.
basically like, do you guess it before the help is revealed or after? If you get it, like, you would get 2 points if you got it before the hint was revealed, but only 1 point after the hint or something. I mean, I'm not worried about relative points. It's just this thing, but
Are we like beta testing future trivia games?
potentially, because I'm not.
That's cool.
I
So
you
don't
should
think this is
treat
going
it
to
as
work.
if there's stakes, and not if there's no stakes.
If nothing else, I think if we're going to do something like this, it would have to be YouTube exclusive.
Okay.
And we could do other content on the channel that was just not going to be transferred over to a podcast. But we'll see how it goes. Except for the audio listeners, they won't see shit.
I'm ready.
Here is your first Who Am I? It
Oh,
also can be a What Am I?
Okay.
This is a basketball reference page. I will tell you a few things about those if you're not super familiar with this site. Things in bold, numbers in bold are when you led the league. There's a lot of bold on the screen. I have, of course, blacked out a piece of information that could be useful. In this case, it's the list of teams that this individual played for. It's an NBA player, so I can say he. So your goal is to identify this player based on what's on the screen. There's information all over the place, and we'll talk about some of it after to kind of see how you got to your answer. If you talk about it now, though, it might be giving something away. So I'm trying to be.
So the I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna ask a question because I
I know
don't.
who it is.
Well, and Dave's gonna be good at these.
I have my answer.
Oh, I'm not even close.
Oh yeah, this one is relatively easy.
Don't,
The rookie of the
don't
year
be
gave it
mean-
away.
don't be mean
No
to him.
one does that
Don't be mean
in
to him.
history as bad as
Better
Dave.
than me.
I am actually.
Better
I'm
than me.
very cognizant. Like we'll be at trivia, and I don't do that because of how bad it can make other people feel.
I guess I can talk through it a bit since
Dave
those
is
two
the
have already
go-to.
answered. We do have
Yeah.
a Rookie of the Year on the screen, the awards column over on the right, as well as one MVP. Only one. We have a player that has led the league pretty consistently in several stats: field goal percentage, free throw attempts, although his free throw attempts haven't necessarily yielded great results. Some 2-pointers per game. Shot what looks to be 2 3-pointers in his entire career.
Fair, Sean. I don't want to say too much, but like I'm very lucky that I think I know who this is.
I think I know who it is too,
Like,
but I'm not like, oh, it's so,
I wouldn't
it's
I wouldn't
so
have
So,
known.
fucking easy.
It is your choice. You can lock in the guess now for 2 points, or you can wait for the clue to be revealed.
If I don't know now, I'm not gonna know it later. So,
Well,
Yeah.
is the clue being revealed the teams?
Yes.
oh yeah, I'm definitely doing it now.
Okay. So if you've all written,
Okay,
yeah.
I've written it down. Yeah.
Okay, let me go pull the version without the teams, or with the teams, rather. Aha. Orlando,
Yeah. Okay.
Lakers,
I'm sure we all got
Heat.
it.
Mr. Shaq.
Yeah.
a Phoenix, but a mid-season Phoenix,
It's so easy.
and it is Shaquille O'Neal, yes. I
when-
think these are going to be on the easier side, like I said, because I wanted to start with there as a test, because if you frequent these sites, this is all pretty easy to look over, but otherwise it's a lot of information where you're like, what am I looking
Mhm.
at?
I literally, when we were doing the like guess the player rating, whatever you think that Dave and I did when you weren't on the show, I picked Shaq's MVP season.
Oh yeah.
So I saw.
I don't remember
MV
that he won in '99, but I figured that was close enough. I knew '92. I looked at the injuries later in the career
it
when he
was-
retired.
Yeah, it was that in field goal percentage or free throw
and
percentage,
that
and I was like,
another one.
okay,
and
it's
3
Shaq.
points taken.
I want to defend myself for a moment. I did say relatively easy, as opposed to what's going to occur later on in this. This one, because it included a Rookie of the Year and the position, I'm like, hold on a second, who came into the league? Relatively, this was easier than what it's going to be.
It'll be
very.
The other version of this will be very, very hard, and I will not get them very often.
I have them rattled.
I will always be like, give me teams, please.
Yeah. All right, number 2. We have 5 of these. Here's number 2.
Pretty guilty, Dave.
This is a Wikipedia because it was cleaner and all in one place, easier than an IMDb. But we are looking for an actor or actress based on the snippet of roles you see here. There is one role blacked out, both the movie and the actor, or the character that they played.
Locked in.
I think I know it, and I'm blanking on his name. Oh my god!
When we do this one in the reveal, I will point out a very hilarious thing about this one.
This is probably the hardest one.
I can see his face
overall because there's not a ton to go on here, other than the thing that's missing. So I'll admit this one is tougher, but I wanted to kind of sprinkle in some different difficulties just to see how it went, because I have no gauge for this. So
what the hell is his name? I see his face. I know other movies he's in, and I'm blanking on his stupid name.
Well, if you can write other movies he's in, we can give you 1.5 points instead of 2, because the goal is to name him. But if it's clear that we know who you're talking about, I'm still willing to reward that to a certain degree.
I don't think this is right, but Cody's going to do it. And, what are the stakes? Nothing, right? We said.
Might as well go for
I wrote down the other movies he's in.
Okay.
What? Okay.
All right. Can I show the other movies he's in?
That's going to be wrong, but you can do it.
Sure.
I wrote these 2 movies, if you can see
those.
It is
indeed George Clooney.
Yeah.
It is George Clooney.
Yes.
You want to know what got me there? Do you want to help me? 3 Kings. And that's it.
Do you want to know what helped get me there?
Mine was
South Park.
Definitely, because I know he is the voice of the Doctor when Kenny dies in South Park at the very start of the movie.
So here's my thing.
Too.
Here's all of it. 3 Kings, and then I thought, I think he's from Dusk Till Dawn.
He also co-stars with what's-his-face in Dusk Till Dawn, which is bizarre.
I feel like in my memory, he was in a movie called The Peacemaker, which of course now he was. That was it.
Yep. 3 Kings helped. Once I looked at it, I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure he was in that when I think back about that.
Who else is in 3 Kings?
I cannot tell you.
Is it like
just remember he's in
Ice Cube is in it or some shit? I don't know.
I do believe giving me Batman and Robin would have been an instant guarantee.
Definitely. Well, as Bruce Wayne too. I can give you all the Bruce Waynes. So
the worst part was I could see his face. I knew, like I said, I knew the other movies he's in, and I know it starts with a G. I know it starts with a G. What the fuck is his name? I hate when that happens.
He's in Tarantino is the other main actor in Dusk Till Dawn, correct?
He is an actor, and that actually crossed my mind. Like Tarantino, no. How many names start with G? Like you got to G. There's like Greg and George.
Gary.
I know.
Gary, sure.
Could have been Gary Busey. I know.
I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if it was a G in the first name or last name. So it was really throwing me off.
Gaval Kilmer, all the names with G. Okay, good job on that one.
Yeah, that's fine. I like that.
This is number 3 of 5. This is from a sort of IMDb-esque site for video games that has a bunch of different collections of metrics and rankings, and it's the closest thing I can find to a basketball reference type of site for video games, because I'm trying to get these in different categories, but the truth is, besides pop culture-y like entertainment and sports, there aren't a ton of examples, but this was one I found that was decent. So there's a lot of stuff on the screen.
What the fuck?
What game is this? The box art is grayed out, for the people wondering
now,
what the clue that was revoked might be.
Question, but I don't want to draw too much attention.
Yes, that's the hard part, is that we kind of want to talk through it, but we don't, because you don't want to help your competitors. But this one's also not for formal points, so...
I have 3 hunches that I think are all wrong.
I had a guess, but the rating is messing me up.
Where's the rating at?
E?
For
the
everyone?
ESRB rating on the right. Yeah.
Well, that knocks out everything I thought it would be.
It's on the box art.
Exactly.
I don't understand what first person behind is.
Yeah, that's true. First person.
It's either first person
right?
or it's
behind their body standing there.
But that's third person.
Yeah.
So I don't.
That's both.
I don't know what, unless it toggles, and
It
maybe
toggles,
it
but-
does.
You can change things.
Well, sometimes
In some
can't
games.
change it in fucking GoldenEye,
I don't know. Well, GoldenEye sure is fucking an E for everyone game.
and it's not fantasy medieval.
And I started
either.
getting to like, well, is it Turok or some shit? Well, that's also not fucking E for everyone. I don't mind
I'm gonna
spoiling
take
this
a
shit. I have no
guess.
fucking clue.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a guess.
It's also on the Wii.
Now 8.7 is good, so it's not Castlevania.
That's 133rd out of 26,800 games.
Yeah,
But critics were a little
Metroid-
higher on it.
See, I don't know that I want to officially guess, but the points don't matter, so I'll take a shot.
I
Okay.
mean, do you want to talk? We can talk through it if you want.
Yeah, you guys can team
I mean,
up.
I have
don't.
my guess now, but
Why don't you put a
Yeah,
guess and then we'll
I have a
see if
guess.
it's wrong. We'll let you talk through it. How about that?
I don't
Okay.
even have a guess.
Okay, all right.
Because again,
Uh,
this is just for fun. We're just testing.
Yeah,
this.
no.
Yeah.
I'm just.
And you can
I
tell
would
me
like
how-
to guess. I have nothing that I don't immediately know is wrong. Or
Here's
is right. What?
the problem I have is that I'm looking at the setting being fantasy/medieval. It's a one-player game released in the late 90s with puzzle elements. That screams Zelda to me.
it screams
It just
Ocarina of Time.
screams Zelda to me.
I was going to
No.
Ocarina of Time,
I'm not.
but
Now-
it's probably
I'm not.
one. It's probably one of the other Zelda games. So it's probably is it like Majora's
is where
Mask?
I'm going.
The-
That's what I. That's what
Okay,
I-
exact. There you go.
The problem
Because you do
is-
go behind view and first person in Zelda.
Mhm.
You do that. I had to. As you said that, I was like, oh, that's fucking right. You do have both, depending upon the thing.
Mhm.
I
The
mean,
slingshot
Zelda's
or the
not a
arrow or whatever.
Metroidvania, but I guess it just depends on what this site. This isn't Chris
Mhm.
compiling stuff. This is like a site
Yes.
page.
Yes.
It's not a Metroidvania.
But the only thing
Um,
that throws me off too is the score. That seems too low for Majora's.
and
I
also,
thought that was my biggest holdup with anything Zelda related.
This is probably my funniest hint
Yeah.
reveal because it's not very helpful.
It-
There you go. The box has shrunk a little bit.
it's also not on the Wii.
Majora's Mask wasn't put back on the Wii.
No, it was.
Yeah, it
on the
was.
3DS.
It was on the
I thought it was on
store.
the Wii.
No, it was on the virtual console. You could buy it. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think they would include it there. Now, when it is Majora's Mask, and I look foolish.
Now, unfortunately, I have ruined the third one that has the full box art, but this is indeed
Oh, it's
Ocarina of Time.
It is Ocarina. I just saw the hill.
Oh.
It's Ocarina of Time.
So I
Yeah.
was right all along.
So the hint reveal was good. Okay, I didn't know.
it
if you
was
noticed
very
it.
good. It gave me immediately.
Just the
I
gold
was
box.
right.
I
even
was
though you
just saying
can't
what
see
my
all of
beef
it.
was because even Ocarina of Time is not on the Wii in a way where like it's an emulation or whatever, and that's fine.
Yes.
But
You-
it was literally re-released on the 3DS, so to
You-
not have that,
you disagree with the
That one's listed as a different title because
Ah.
that has different elements to it.
because
This was a
it's mobile.
strict
It's
re-
mobilized
release.
or whatever.
okay.
Hand-
Weirdly
All right.
enough, Majora's Mask was originally an E as well. When it was released on the Virtual Console on the Wii, it was an E10 Plus,
Interesting.
and then a T
Interesting.
for Teen
To be
on the
fair-
3DS remake. So it got darker
See,
over time, I guess.
The 133 throws me off a lot, but I should have noticed the number one on Nintendo 64. That should have been the dead
and that's
giveaway
what I
right
went
there.
to once I
Yes.
talked
I also
through it.
don't like the Metroidvania, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, there are some things here that are a little bit throwing off.
But it makes it tricky, which I like actually, Chris.
It's kind of like trying to sift through the information and see what's relevant and what's not.
Yeah. Because I could
Mhm.
see somebody who doesn't know categorizing this as a Metroidvania.
There's
And I guess
elements
there's
of it.
some sort of elements.
Get
where, like,
items, unlock new
in the
areas,
overworld.
backtrack.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the wrong descriptor. It's just not one I've ever used or heard used for this game. So
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
it's kind of
Okay.
its own element, like Metroid.
I like it.
Vania.
Give us another one.
I also disagree with players having 4 out of 5 stars on 460.
Yeah, the Mobius score was the one that was like the most throwing
Yeah,
off.
go
Like,
fuck yourself. That's like
Yeah.
the greatest game of all time.
It is a 97 on Metacritic.
They're like,
though.
where's the Battle Royale?
Number 4. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
no.
Sean.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Number 4 is looking for a baseball player.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
Well, that's what AL.
Here is some information that could help Sean, maybe, that I can also talk through for the sake of the listeners. In the position column, 6 is shortstop, 5 is third base, We have the league leader in total bases in 1991, as well as an 11.5 wins above replacement, which is really high. Like we talked about when you guys did the draft a couple weeks back, that's a relatively unmatched number.
Who's someone like Ken Griffey Jr.?
God damn it! I'm not thinking who this is. I should know who this is.
I should know who this is too, and I'm blank.
I can pull a Dave and be like, oh yeah, I can see his face. I just can't think of the name.
He wrote the names of
Okay,
movies
then
on
you
there
write
that-
down the teams that he's on. Yeah.
Okay,
blacked
I
out the
will.
teams
I'll
again.
do that right now.
There
The
is
Blue Jays.
This is a 2-time MVP, a Rookie of the Year. Won the MVPs almost a decade apart, which is pretty unusual.
Well, I should
We'll
know
go with
who
this one.
this-
And then
Go with this one.
there's one thing in particular on here that's the giveaway. And it's the 28 grounded into double plays in 1996. Just kidding, that's not it.
Nope, it's not him. Well,
I can reveal the clue if you think you're stuck.
Is it Daryl Strawberry?
I will go ahead and tell
no,
you
I'm going with this.
it is not. Dave, you have an answer in?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I had to take it off.
All right.
No,
Then
it's
I'll
not
say
that.
time
It's
has
not what I
expired. I'll reveal the clue. You guys can still get 1 point on the scoreboard that we're not keeping.
Okay.
Here are the teams.
Fuck, I was right.
There's only one team. It's the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah. I was like, I should have known
I was
because I
right.
picked him.
So who is it?
Cal Ripken Jr.
It is
Oh, I don't.
Cal
That's a name
Ripken
I've heard
Jr.
before.
And I because I hadn't looked at his like baseball reference page when I pulled a season out of my ass before, but I was trying to do the math on not missing a game. I'm like, is that Cal Ripken? Because why is there a bunch of 161s?
Rainouts,
Yes, that's what I was thinking
And that's
too.
what I was-
cancellations.
That's why I didn't say Cal Ripken. I'm like, but there's too many 161s for that to make sense, and
we
that's
have,
what held
we have
me
the
up.
strike in the 94-95 range that throws it off a bit.
That really threw
So
me off.
I've heard
Those
of
years
Cal
really threw me
Ripken,
off. I wasn't.
But had you asked me what position he played, I probably would have guessed pitcher.
He was a shortstop for a lot of his career until he moved to third base. Because is that Miguel Tejada coming in and booting him off of short?
Possibly. He's with the A's in 02, but I think
Let's get back to movies and video
Yeah.
games.
Crazy. I might be crazy on that. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong player. I thought Tejada was.
I'm so mad at myself. I knew I was right. and
Honestly,
I-
like I want to just say Cal Ripken because I'm like, that's got to be Cal Ripken, and the 161s just fucked me over.
It
I was
was
like,
a bit of a
that can't be
trick.
right.
yeah, bit of a trick. I knew Sean had no shot. I just wanted to put one in.
All
right.
Not 0%, but like 0.5%. Because
Well-
I've heard of the name at least.
Yeah, it's like it's a pretty well-known player. Also, he
Yeah.
was an all-star like every season of his career, even when he had no right to be. Like the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes,
there's
it's true.
No reason. The very last year
He
was
was like
one thing when he
99
was on his
all-star.
retirement tour. But anyways, this is what I teased last time. It's a map, and on this map we have Tapioca, which is cool. It's actually Tapolka, but bunch of cities with a bunch of K's and H's. Some certainly interesting accent marks of different kinds. There's a tilde. There's an accent, a double dot, an umlaut. There's a lot going on here. There's one city in particular that is blacked out. Looks to be some kind of central hub. We're trying to name the country for this one. Now, you can probably at least get an idea of the region based on the cities around it, but naming a specific country might be tough.
I have a guess.
You guys smoked the George Clooney one, so I think instead I'll have to say this is the hardest one. Yeah, Dave has a guess.
I have a guess.
If either of
I'm
you would
holding it
like
up.
to guess, you may do so. If not, I'll reveal the one missing piece of
But
information.
you know I hate geography.
You know, Baja throws me off quite a bit.
Well, this was one that was also pretty doable for like get a thing that's consistent and just remove part of it that's important.
Yeah, I have yeah.
Oh, never.
Damn it. I'm wrong.
Never.
See, I was gonna go with
Mhm.
Turkey, and I was like, those are not Turkish cities, though.
Budapest. Even Budapest. Had you told me, do you think it's Budapest? I'd be like, no, it doesn't match up with all the other crazy.
You know what
Mhm.
country Budapest is in, though, right? The country's not called Budapest.
No, I know.
I do.
I'm just, yeah, right. I know that. I'm just saying it doesn't fit all
But-
the surrounding.
But do you know what it is now?
What is it?
It's Hungary, right?
Yes.
Hungary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
Hungary.
Okay.
I was wrong. That was my guess originally.
Serbia. Yeah, Chris, how close is Turkey to Hungary?
Pretty close.
Okay. I just want to make sure I was in the right region because Turkey's where I went for first, but I'm like, I didn't think Turkey had a body of water like that. That's weird.
No
No,
clue.
Turkey's got the Mediterranean next to
No
it.
clue. I would
They're
have sooner gotten Cal Ripken Jr.
They're Hungarians.
Sure.
Their flag is
Yeah,
white, red,
I mean-
and green.
Cool.
The second,
You want me to give
the
you more
second you
hungry
showed Budapest,
facts?
I'm like, well, I'm wrong.
Budapest is.
I think I'm just going to take the L on that one.
Sometimes the clue or the missing piece of information was not that important. Like Ocarina of Time, I gave you just a little bit of the box art, which could be helpful. It's a pretty distinct box. This one's kind of like, if you don't know what any other city, and why would you in Hungary? That's difficult.
What's the next one?
What
That's
country
it. That's
is
all five.
Arad?
Oh, no.
What country is Arad down there on the bottom?
I don't know. I can look it up. I risk losing video on Dave, but I'll try.
Fine, don't do that.
You lost me. Bye.
It's too late.
I knew it. Arad is in Romania,
Okay.
on the border of Hungary.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what country that was down there.
Yeah, because I'm not exactly a geography expert either.
That's
but-
crazy.
And that's the end. There's all five. You did it.
Cool. I like it a lot. That was fun.
Mhm.
I like the movies and
you
games
keep-
more.
I like
I like
Clooney
the
more
mix.
than I
That's
like Hungary.
more fun. Yeah.
I like remembering somebody's fucking name, but apparently I can't do that.
Can't do that.
You
So-
did. His name was G.
So, wait, I got like 2.5. You got,
I got Shaq right.
actually, we all
got-
did pretty similar, actually.
I
Because
got Clooney right
we
right
missed-
away. I don't really want to give myself credit for Ocarina of Time, but it was it's what I said before Dave
that
talked
was
me
my
into
half.
making
I think we all get a half on that one.
And I only got Ripken once the thing was revealed, and I only got Hungary once Budapest was revealed. So I got, what's that? 4.5, 4 was 6.5,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep, I would have.
6.5.
I give myself a half a point for getting Ocarina of Time,
Yeah.
not a full point, and I give myself one for getting on
point
the
for
reveals,
Hungary.
and 1 point for Cal Ripken, and I get
Oh, yeah.
two for the first two because I knew him right
2.5
away.
and 2.5. Yeah. Okay.
I did the math right.
I
Yep.
don't know. I'll have to-
2,
I-
2, and 1, 1.
I
and a
would have
half.
played this. I would have played this differently had I counted for points, but I'm like, I think at 5.5 because Chris said I would have gotten 1.5 for giving the movies that George Clooney was in
If-
that I couldn't remember.
if
his
I
name.
was-
Just being nice to you. We
if-
would have not allowed that.
If I was trailing, I would have just gone with Ocarina of Time. Like I would have just, if I was like behind in the standings, I'm like, no, I'm just saying Ocarina of Time. Fuck it.
Yeah.
That one, I would have. If I said fuck it, I would have gone with Turkey. So I wouldn't have done that one. And Cal Ripken again. I talked my brain out of that with seeing not.
Yep, me too.
games.
Me too.
The difference is you guys got
All right.
2 one pointers where I wouldn't have gotten the 1 point.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have
after
got.
the
You wouldn't have
clue.
gotten Cal Ripken, and apparently you don't know what Budapest is.
Oh, what's Budapest?
They talk about it in the Avengers
It's a-
movie.
Oh, I thought that was
It's
just
a
made-up
hotel,
city.
right?
You
Just
thought?
kidding.
Oh,
No,
Yes.
I didn't.
when
No, I'm
Hawkeye
kidding.
says like, "Do you remember Budapest?"
Yeah, I
Movie?
thought it was like with the Sokovia, it's like, oh, that's just made up.
Right. Wakanda.
I
It's a-
don't
it's
know
a
if you're
grand
actually
hotel.
kidding or
I
not.
am kidding. Now I can't tell you a lot about Budapest, but I know Budapest is, if you gave me like which of these is fiction, which is real, I would clear that.
I think we should give Sean like
Right.
4.
Wakanda is real.
I think we should do
They
4
just-
weird city names and see if Sean could pick out the one
Mhm.
that's actually a real city.
I'm all in on this because I kind of like geography, so this is more fun. When Sean is confused and struggling,
Well,
this
I
is more
don't
fun
know.
for me.
Yeah, like,
Geography is easily,
If you pick like the capital of like Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and all that, I'm like, I might
Mhm.
be able to actually figure out which one's fake.
Mhm.
They never did geography in my school.
Yeah,
N-
because
nothing in
your state
geography.
education is terrible.
Well, I know, but I'm just letting you know.
And Kingman in particular.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
should have said your county and
we
then
did
the
a
city.
decent amount of history, which I'm also bad at, so like I don't have an excuse there. But I'm better at history than I am at geography. We just never did. They were like, you know what matters in geography? America.
Hmm.
That's it. Doesn't matter what's
Here are where
around
the
it.
red states are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's your sample size for what may or may not come somewhere down the line. We'll see. Again, a little more visual than I'd like for the podcast, which I try and keep pure, even though more people switch to YouTube. There's still plenty of people listening on the audio side, and I don't want to abandon them. Where it's like, look at this map, and they're like, "What map? I can't see shit." But
What we have a trivia coming up, don't we?
yeah, there'll be one early November.
Cool. What's the stakes for that one? Who won? Cody.
I'm sorry, who won?
Did you
What
win?
was
You
that?
won
Yeah.
because you had
Yeah.
to
I
for
won.
your own.
I won.
Random
I
fucking.
am
lost-
Mr.
I
Win
lost by-
percentage. Yes.
You're right.
I lost by like 2 seconds. I lost by like 2 seconds to Cody.
Seconds. He lost by
Ah.
2 seconds.
It was
in a
very
game
close.
That doesn't have time.
No,
Yes.
we had time.
I
We
know.
were timed on the
Oh
big
my god! I was thinking the wheel.
No, we were on the
That's right.
The wheel will be
Oh,
back.
that was fun.
the fuck up
I
board.
liked that.
Yes.
I did pretty good, but I was first,
You were first.
and
I was second.
and I finished it feeling pretty good, and it wasn't.
And
good
then I
enough.
smoked your ass.
Yeah. I think you were listening downstairs.
I
Though.
would-
That's
yes.
my theory.
Yes. Sure.
See, that's a theory that I can employ because I went first. So no
He
matter
did.
what,
He's right.
like if you went first, there's
How-
nothing I could say.
You're right.
But I went
Then
first.
how do you attribute the fact that I got all 30 as well on that, and I
It's very
wasn't
easy
in
for
the
you to
room?
listen to.
I wasn't in the room.
No, you
It's-
just listen on the
It's
Like,
podcast.
you can
live.
see my
It's
camera.
live on the
That's
pod.
actually
Like-
Bluetooth.
It's
like-
actually, thank you, Dave, for bringing it up.
Bluetooth.
It's actually easiest.
I was
for
like,
you to-
in fact, I think that you just set up yourself
it's
up for
easier
like bad
for you to
things.
cheat than Cody. I'm so glad you actually brought this to
So
our
easy.
attention.
I could also just watch downstairs. It's
Well,
easy.
I
We
know,
have
but-
an equal opportunity.
But like, you know, sometimes, well, Maisie wasn't here, I guess. But like, you could be overheard listening downstairs. What the fuck are you gonna do for Dave?
You're
Like
right.
Courtney to try to eavesdrop?
Yes, you're right. Like that, she needs to put. She
To
needs
be
to
fair,
like.
Be in
I-
on it with him.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
To be fair, I was
was
talking to her.
listening.
Yeah, I
I
actually
was
called
talking to her
Raya
during
and I
that.
was like, Raya, what is Sean answering right
Yeah,
now on
you
the
called
podcast?
Raya, and Raya's like, "Why didn't you just listen?" You're like, "No,
no,
I can't."
no, I can't do that. That's cheating. I need you to listen for me and tell me back what's
There's
happening.
like some element of like you could have
cheating
like
with extra
misheard.
steps.
Yeah,
That'll be in 3 weeks, I believe.
We're doing a wheel though again now, right?
Yeah, Wheel is back.
Wheel's
The
back.
Wonderwall will be back in Trivia Night 20, which will be probably end of next year.
okay.
Feels like forever, but next week is the Suns preview, and I know for some people, roll your eyes. This is probably the most interesting the Suns preview has been in the last few years
It will be
because I'm not entirely sure what to expect coming into it. We could be very different on our guesses of wins in ways that we have not been in the last 3 or 4
Very
years.
bad.
That is next Tuesday.
That's next Tuesday.
I will not be here
Why don't you just come and listen to us talk?
because I'm gonna be driving back from Vegas that day
Oh,
anyway.
okay then.
Yeah, we'll make it in time for our debut in NBA.
Yes, I will exactly. I will come in for playing NBA.
If you were
but
here, I'd say come. But if you're already like struggling,
I will
no,
be
you-
driving back from Vegas that
Nah,
afternoon.
don't kill yourself to make a thing.
So yes, I will be
Really
back to
don't
be
want
able to
that.
play basketball, though I will not make us skip that.
Well, the Suns thing is gonna be interesting though, because we're gonna be bad, but we don't know how bad.
Yes. And that way, I think it'll be good
Yeah.
to put the dinner bet back on because the last couple of years we've been very close in our predictions because we're all relatively.
I want to make a prediction.
Well, you're not going to be here, so go fuck
Well,
yourself.
you make what's your prediction? Like,
I'll
but-
chat. I'll go on the chat.
Just say it right now so we know.
I have
Okay.
to research.
Oh my god.
It's got to research.
No,
So-
yeah, let him go on the chat. That's perfect. He has the opportunity. Ryan will drive. He'll go on the chat.
Yeah, let him. Let him.
Oh,
turn-
Ryan's not going with me to Vegas.
But
He's not
what's,
invited.
what's interesting
Oh.
is our win guess could be anywhere. I would say between Cody's and so I will amend it to say like 19 and like 40 at
Are
the
you
very
assuming?
high
Are you
end.
assuming I would guess 19?
I feel like there is a chance that you could go very low.
No,
That's
I'm not
all
going to go
saying.
that low.
I'm just
I'm not
saying.
going to go.
I'm
that
doing
low.
extremes. 19 to 40, whereas like what we said last year, like most extreme, like 35 to like 55, like much higher last year. And we would have been way off. We were off, whatever we guessed.
We guessed 55, 56, and 57,
Extremely off.
and they won 36.
Yeah.
This year there
Feels
might be
bad.
some gaps, so that the person who ends up with the middle number isn't like absolutely fucked on the bet because they have exactly one win total. And that's the only way they can win.
Yeah.
Gonna price is right.
You're
Everybody
three
and fuck
straight
'em
years.
over.
For 3 straight years, one of us guessed one number, one guessed that number plus one, and the last one guessed that number plus two.
Yeah.
Like it was
Ooh,
for 3
And-
straight years we did that.
And part of those, in 2 of those 3 years, was that one person wanted to say the number somebody else already had and couldn't really because it doesn't work for the purpose of the bet.
and that's why I can't say it now because I don't want to give my number now.
Yeah, it would be a
Who cares?
disadvantage.
Well,
I'm
I
not
mean, do
doing
your
my-
research.
I'm doing my
That's
research.
fine. You want to do your research? Do your own research.
I'll
you
do my
know?
research. I gotta look at
Don't
some
just
things.
believe all this vaccine. Dude.
Yeah,
Do your
I
own
gotta look up some
research.
things. I know.
Yeah, be
So
like
that'll-
Dave.
I will be
Yeah,
immunized against my wins and losses bet.
That'll
Yeah.
be next week. You'll notice that if Sean is correct about 40 being the absolute highest, that is a losing season still.
Oh yeah.
So tune in and see what we have to say about this year's Phoenix Suns, which is very different
No.
from the last 3 years.
You might have some rainouts. We don't know. Maybe 40 and 40 will be the final record.
That's true. Yeah. COVID 2.0 hits,
Yeah.
league taken by storm, win the
Yeah.
NBA Cup. All right, that's the end of the episode. Thank you for tuning in, listening, whichever. In between episodes, you can find us at our website, grayareas.live or youtube.com/@grayareaslive. You'll get to see all the video stuff, like the visual trivia, if you do it that way. See you next time.